I'm here to show you guys a super easy chocolate chip Danish recipe that you will all want to go make right away because it is that super easy. All the recipe measurements and stuff are written below in the description for you guys. You're going to need a sheet tray, line it with either parchment paper or a silk pad, and then you're going to need 1 can of your croissant dough. You can find it at any grocery store. Just open that right up, pull it out, and don't worry if it breaks apart. We're going to fix that and mold it together, but just unravel it and kind of make it flat as possible. Now you can use a rolling pin just as I'm doing right here. Just take the rolling pin and roll it back and forth because you're going to mold all that dough together. And definitely use your fingers because these are your best tool because you can get that dough really smushed together and make sure it does not break because you do not want it to break when you are baking it later. So use those fingers and make that dough stick together. Now take a pizza cutter and kind of cut all your lines in a super slanted cut, 1 inch for each of them, just as I'm doing right here, but do not cut all the way through. And then make sure you do the same exact thing for the other side. And remember, leave a big middle part so you can put that cream cheese filling in it later. Now to a metal bowl, I need you to add 1/4 cup of sugar, 1 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1 package or an 8-ounce cream cheese that is room temperature. Then last, a 1/3 cup of your chocolate chips. Now just take a rubber spatula and start mixing all that sugar together and make sure you smush it back and forth so that way it gets really overworked. Use an ice cream scoop or a spoon and start putting the cream cheese throughout the middle of your croissant dough, just as I'm doing right here. Now just use an offset spatula or your rubber spatula and start smoothing out the middle of that because you want it super even. And then take your extra chocolate chips that you may have left over and just sprinkle all over the top of that because it's going to make it taste super good and chocolatey. Now just take all your dough strips and start overlapping it like an X mark. Basically, it's going to look like you're braiding your dough in a way, but you're just going to take one and put it over the other and keep doing it to every single strip until you have no more strips to overlap. What I'm doing right here is taking the end of the dough and kind of pushing it underneath of your dough so that way when you bake it, it doesn't pop up, and in that way it has a really nice tight fit during the baking process. Definitely take some extra granulated sugar and start sprinkling it over the top of the dough because it's going to taste so good later. Make sure you preheat your oven to 350 degrees and make sure you bake that chocolate chip Danish for about 20 minutes in the oven. And then it will make it really tasty and it should have a golden brown tint to it. And then as soon as 20 minutes are up, pull it right out of the oven and definitely be careful when you pull it off the sheet tray so it doesn't break. And then you definitely want to serve it while it's hot. And what I'm doing here is taking a pizza cutter again and I'm cutting nice sections off so that everyone gets a piece of that, and it's going to be so good. And there you have it. There is a yummy, tasty chocolate chip easy Danish that you have all made with me. Now you should definitely go make some.